Bitcoin hits all-time highs. Elon Musk no longer the richest person on earth. And then credit card fees are slashed, which, AB, I know that'll help you and your broke self. But anyway, the market breakdown starts right now. All right, y'all, welcome to the market breakdown. Here we go. Bitcoin, we've been talking about it, AB, for so long. You know, I've known you for a little bit, I'd say a couple of years, never met you in person, but I can almost guarantee that you don't have a single Bitcoin in your portfolio. Am I right or am I right?
I mean, just like the last show we did, you're still right, have no Bitcoin. I'm holding some other cryptos, though. Some Geo Bowden. Some Geo Bowden is the one I'm in right now. I don't know if you saw Zunaid, but some guy on Twitter turned $100 into $300K trading Geo Bowden, a new meme coin named after our president.
I did not. I don't have that. I have Dogecoin at a 9-cent average, so I was up 100% when it hit 20 cents, but that's kind of about it. Now, how many people do you think have like a limit order set at $69,420? And do you think people are really going to sell Bitcoin, or are they going to hold it for maybe like 100,000?
I think you'll always have those people that just hold Bitcoin. They're not going to sell it. Now, with that said, you know, anytime you have these big run-ups in crypto, you have more people trading it. So there could be some selling pressure. I mean, we saw the other day when Bitcoin did hit new all-time highs, you had a very severe sell-off. The coin dropped more than 10% from those highs. Now it's coming back. But either way, I mean, anytime, you know, we have these big run-ups in crypto, the altcoins are really the ones that I start watching because, again, I mean, you can buy Bitcoin, but chances are it's not going to go up 100% over the next, you know, month. But if you buy some little tiny meme coin and just throw, you know, 100, 200 bucks in there as like a lotto ticket, then hey, you can get lucky and get some good returns.
Well, you know who has a lot of luck and a skill set behind him? It's Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. So those two have been kind of going back and forth with the richest person in the U.S. and all that stuff there. So you had Elon Musk that was number one. Then Jeff Bezos took over when Tesla dropped like 4% or whatever. But then it recovered the losses, and Elon Musk got the gains right back. But here's what I want to ask you, right? I don't know about you, but I know my net worth, right? And whenever I lose my net worth by, let's say, 15% or so, I feel shitty. I feel a little terrible feeling in my gut. How do you think these rich individuals feel knowing that their net worth is shifting in the billions? I mean, mine shifts in like the 4 figures and I get pissed off. 5 figures, I'm eating ramen for lunch, breakfast, and dinner. How do you think they cope mentally when they're losing billions of dollars? Now, I understand it's not liquid, but still, that's got to impact them.
Yeah, I mean, I assume that a lot of these like billionaires that are on the top 100 Forbes list of richest people in the world, I'm sure a lot of them have the mindset of like, look, I already have more money than I could spend in an entire lifetime. So if you lose $5 billion, whatever, it doesn't impact their lifestyle whatsoever. I mean, if Jeff Bezos lost half his money, he could still live the exact same lifestyle he's living, be on the boat with his new girlfriend, whatever it is. Elon Musk, however, I have a hunch that he's kind of got that ego type thing about him where he really liked being the richest person in the world. And so it probably does hurt to see, you know, how much Tesla stock has fallen. And I mean, you're looking at now at right now, if you go back from the highs where Tesla was trading at in 2021, November 2021, Tesla's down more than 50% from those highs. And since Elon Musk's net worth is basically all backed by Tesla stock, Elon's lost about more than, you know, 50% of the money he had. Of course, the Twitter deal didn't help either. So, again, like I think a lot of these guys probably don't care that much. I think Elon probably cares a little bit more than some of the other ones.
I believe that the person who will be the first trillionaire is going to be either Elon or someone within the AI space that we don't even really know of. Maybe Sam, right, from OpenAI, maybe him, but
yeah.
I think
you know,
Sam
Altman went to the high school right next to me in St. Louis.
Oh, really?
He went to the same high school as Ezekiel Elliott. Fun fact.
Did not know.
Well,
that.
Now you do.
That's a cool fun fact. Well, here's what's up. You got anything else?
Well, I was just gonna say. I mean, Jensen Huang. That could be. I don't know how much. The CEO of Nvidia, Jensen Huang. I don't know how much stock he has. Let me try to look that up real quick. Jensen Huang network. I mean, he's worth $75 billion right now, but if Nvidia,
he's way far. He's not gonna.
He's the
24th
richest person in the world.
I don't see him making the #1 spot.
All right. Well.
Ever. I don't.
So I should sell my Nvidia. You're saying.
I believe you should sell your NVIDIA. And you know what else I think you should maybe perhaps sell is the NYCB. This was kind of weird. I was looking at the charts because someone in the chat requested it. But apparently the New York Community Bancorp stock was halted after news of banks seeking capital infusion. The shares were down like 40%. Then they went ahead and bounced back. It was the weirdest thing ever. They also went ahead and slashed their dividend by 80% to 1 penny. So for every share you own, AB, they give you 1 penny. That's kind of weird. I thought we were over this whole New York bank collapsing in general, but apparently maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen since last year, you had this regional bank crisis, obviously Silicon Valley Bank, Signature Bank, all these, regional banks that had a lot of fears in the market. NYCB is the one that is still kind of, feeling that pain. And on Wednesday, what happened was the company came out, like you said, and announced it was looking for outside capital. It was contemplating an equity sale, which is like a big, big red flag. Typically, when you hear companies say stuff like that, it means it's going to zero. But the company must have been working behind the scenes on this already because they announced that Wednesday morning. Like you said, the stock was trading down 40%. And then within a couple hours, we got the announcements that, hey, that capital that they were looking for, we got it now. And it was led by former Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin. Got a few different investors groups together and pooled up more than $1 billion to basically give NYCB a lifeline. So the stock went from being down 40%, went up 100% from its lows, and closed the day up 7%. So typically, again, when you see a company make an announcement like that and the stock's down 40%, you want to stay away. But anyone who was brave enough to buy NYCB on Wednesday when it was down to $2 got rewarded, and it traded up again on Thursday. So, it looks like some of these fears are starting to subside at least a little bit. And even if NYCB does go under or continues to have more problems, I mean, you're looking at like a $3 billion stock at this point, so it's not the biggest deal in the world, I don't think. But I think a lot of people in the industry would still rather NYCB be afloat rather than go under.
We live in a world where $3 billion for a company is not a big of a deal. But here's where I want to move on to the next topic, right? Whenever I do these shows and broadcasts and things like that in my esports world, and they're like, hey, we'll pay you, $300 to do this show. But I'm like, oh, it's my mom's birthday. I think I'm going to go visit her. I know that the opportunity cost that I just missed out on is $300. And that kind of sucks. That's like my internet bill and then some, right? The reason I bring that up is because you had Facebook, Threads, Instagram that had like a worldwide outage, not just here in the US, not just North America. It was a worldwide outage. And Dan Ives, who's the managing director at Wedbush Securities, said that Mark Zuckerberg lost approximately $100 million in revenue Tuesday morning because of the problems. Like, I can't fathom. I guess when you have a company like Meta, which makes billions of dollars and its market cap is up there as well, obviously, it's a little drop in the bucket. But can you imagine missing out on $100 million of revenue just because you had an outage? I mean, of course, and on top of that, you have Elon Musk that wanted to go ahead and troll. So he put out a tweet on X or whatever that said, if you can see this meme, it's because our servers work. What do you think? Was it a cyber attack, or do you think it was just some IT guy who just fell asleep at the wheel?
No, I mean, look, I think if you run a tech company, you're running apps, these types of things just happen. I mean, from time to time, AWS, Amazon Web Services, which powers so many different websites and apps out there, has outages sometimes. I think these things just happen. I mean, Meta's stock on Thursday was trading at all-time highs. It's up more than 400% from its lows. So, I mean, like, it sucks probably to see that they lost out on some revenue, but is it a big deal for Meta? Probably not. I mean, if you think about how much they make on a daily basis, right? I don't know how long it was down for. Say it was down for 6 hours and they lost out on $100 million of revenue. That means that they bring in hundreds of millions of dollars of revenue every single day. Yeah. So the fact that it had like this outage, I mean, look, like, I just don't think that impacts the stock really long term. I don't think Zuck is too worried about that. I think Zuck's more worried about who he's sparring with next, who he's doing jiu-jitsu with next, and trying not to get hurt. I know he tore his ACL or something, so maybe he's still doing that recovery.
Can I just say, and before we move on, by the way, at the time of this recording, which was March 7, 12:33 Eastern Time, Meta did hit an all-time high of 520. So again, the market clearly does not give a shit.
You thought I was lying to you? You went and fact-checked me?
No, I never. No, I just, I mean, yeah, you have said some crazy things in the past.
Okay.
Yeah, you're nervous. Your chair is shaking. But anyway, before we do move on, though, I want to point out, people have been talking about this on Twitter, about how Mark Zuckerberg was kind of like this awkward, robotic individual. Then he got into like this workout and jujitsu and whatever else, and now his confidence has gone up, right? So I just a message for all the people watching, man, woman, whatever.
Go do jujitsu.
Yes, there you go. Go work out. Go for a walk in the sun. I'm not saying it'll cure all your problems, but I'm saying it'll
yeah, I mean, honestly, it is crazy how much I feel like Zuckerberg's the public perception of Mark Zuckerberg has improved over the last few years. Because yeah, he went from being like the weirdest, this guy's a robot when he was doing the testimony in Congress and sitting on a booster seat and all this stuff. And now I think people are like, oh, I mean, as far as billionaires go, Zuckerberg actually seems like a pretty, normal dude. He's got like the same wife he's had for, 15 years or whatever. Like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I could chill with Zuck for a little bit. Maybe not like go on a week-long vacation with him, but I'd grab a beer with him or something.
Yeah, I think the best investment that people at home can make, by the way, is in a partner that's going to support you through the highs, the lows, and everything else. I'm single. I'm pretty sure AB's single as well. So, yeah, if anyone's out there is supportive, let us know. But let's go ahead and move on to Apple. All right, so Apple, obviously, people have been complaining about Apple like not having innovation and different things like that. But now the reports of China sales for the iPhone being down 24% in the first 6 weeks of 2024. Our good friend Cramer, I don't know him personally, but Cramer said, story about Apple's sales plummeting in China again. Nothing good is going to come of China for Apple or any company there. For now, I sense serious Apple panic now. The stock is down 8% for the year, but with Cramer putting out a pessimistic statement like that, I think we hit all-time highs, no? The way that his track record has been?
Yeah, I mean, look, now everyone's so scared of China, and there's been a lot of problems there with the economy, growth concerns, etc. I mean, like, you're supposed to buy when people are scared. That's like Warren Buffett's whole thing, right? Buy when people are fearful, sell when people are greedy. So, I think long-term, stocks that have exposure to China, whether it be Apple, whatever you're talking about, will be okay. But Apple, has just been a laggard this year. You look at the market at all-time highs. Previously, Apple had been the company leading the market, right? When Apple was up, the S&P was up. When Apple was down, the S&P was down. That correlation has broken, and now you're seeing days where Apple's down 2%, but SPY is still green because you have these other stocks like Microsoft and NVIDIA going up that make up for Apple's weakness. So Apple, I think, will be a story to watch because if Apple continues to be weak, I will say, Zunaid, I will come in and buy the dip at some point on Apple. You can see right here. I'm using an Apple right here. I got an Apple Watch. I got an iPhone. I've got AirPods. Like, they just sell too much. They make too much money for the stock to drop past a certain point. So it's at about 170 right now. If it gets down to like 150 or so, I'll be taking a stab at it.
I love that you said, I'm going to come in and buy the dip as if you had like six figures, millions of dollars, billions of dollars coming in. You know what? I'm going to save the dip. Yeah, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to buy the dip.
Exactly. Everyone else,
we all saw
you'll at least have one bid at 150. If everyone else is selling, you'll at least have.
We saw you spend $30 on Dogecoin a few years ago. But so you're right, though. You've upped your game a little bit.
Yeah. Well, look, I never said how many shares I'd buy. So, a fractional share on Robinhood could go a long way. You never know. That could spark the next rally.
You know why you're not rich is because I hear you pay a lot of money in late fees in terms of credit cards. And now you've got the Biden administration that's slashing credit card late fees to $8, which is down from the average of $32. This is huge because I pay my bills on the 1st and the 15th. And sometimes I don't do auto draft just because the way, my bank account works and the cash flow and things like that, I've got to move things around sometimes. So I got hit with a $40 late fee like 3 months ago. And I'm like, wow, I've never felt so broke in my life. But this was cool, though. I like the fact that late fees could be slashed down to 8%. But I will also say this is the government coming in to impact how businesses are run. I'm not sure how I feel about that. That's the conversation between having a bigger government, smaller government, all that stuff. But lo and behold, though, what are your thoughts on $32 average of late fees being slashed to $8 right around election year, by the way? Yes, we're about 6 months away. But I think he's trying to get some brownie points for the election.
Yeah, look, I'm excited to, next time this debt collector who keeps calling me. It's so annoying. Like, get a real job. Why is this guy calling me all day, every day? But next time he calls me, I'll tell him, hey, look, my fees should be lower because of this. You also had, I think the administration did something with overdraft fees. So if you ever accidentally overdraft your checking account, you go into negative. I mean, banks used to charge like $100 for that. And then you already have like negative $10 in your, I have no experience with this, by the way, but say hypothetically someone did have negative $10 in their checking account and then they get hit with a big overdraft fee. Now all of a sudden they have negative 110, and the administration put some like guardrails on that and said you can't charge X amount for overdraft fees. I don't think that's a bad thing at all, right? Like, I think that helps protect consumers. And so, you know, people will have different opinions on what the government should be doing with stuff like that. But again, anything like that that's going to help me and help other fellow American consumers that may not be in the billionaire camp like Bezos and Elon Musk, I'm okay with. I'm less okay with the government going out and helping those types of people.
Curious to see if JP Morgan went down on that. Oh, what do you know? Now, I don't know if this is the exact news that caused it or not, but you've got JP Morgan, ticker JPM, that is down today by 3 points. Let's see what else we got. Citi. All right, C for Citi. Citi is down today as well, almost down $1. So, you know, let's take a look at Bank of America real quick. And
yeah, and I mean, if you think about it, it doesn't sound like that big of a deal. But if you're Citi and your whole thing is credit cards, and all of a sudden your late fees get slashed by, you know, 60% or whatever, and then you multiply that out by how many customers the company has, then it actually ends up having a material impact on revenue.
Well, customers that are late. Yeah, customers that are late.
Yeah, right. I mean, yeah.
Right?
So, I mean, if they have, let's say they have,
like us.
they say they have a few million customers, there's going to be a certain percentage of those every month that are late.
Well, so Bank of America, JP Morgan, Citi, those are the three stocks I checked. They are all down today, which is, again, Thursday, March 7th. And I don't know if you ever got a chance to see Mike Tyson fight or not, or if you've always just seen highlights. But you will get a chance to see Mike Tyson and Jake Paul battle it out on July 20th on Netflix, by the way, right? So Netflix streaming platform, now they want to go into live streaming and all that stuff. They tried it once. It failed miserably, but now they're coming back, and it's going to be, the fight will take place at AT&T Stadium in Texas, which I believe is where the Cowboys play. What do you think? Who's going to win that one?
I mean, look, I'm looking at Mike Tyson's Wikipedia right now. Dude is 57 years old. Someone tell this man that he should be like golfing, maybe playing some pickleball. Fighting's not a 57-year-old man's sport. So, you know.
But making money is. You think he's doing it because he wants to kick someone's ass? He's doing it because he's probably getting paid millions.
I mean, I hope so. Look, I really.
He's probably got late credit card fees to take care of too, buddy.
I hope so.
It's not just me and you.
I don't know who's gonna win. I mean, Jake Paul's been, you know, he's got the age advantage. He's done well in his previous fights. All the Paul brothers, has either of them even ever lost one of these fights?
Yes. So Paul is actually 9-1.
Who did Jake Paul lose
the
to?
only time he is, Jake Paul's 9-1. The only time he's lost is to Tommy Fury in the grudge match last year. That's the only time that he's lost.
Got it. Well, this will be interesting. I mean, I'll be tuning in. Of course, Netflix has the exclusive rights, so that'll be interesting to watch this stock. Netflix has talked about trying to get more into live sports. They're doing something, too, with Rafael Nadal is playing Carlos Alcaraz, which is like kind of a very similar thing because Nadal's now like 40 and Alcaraz is like 20. It's like Netflix. Like, let's get some like good competition. I'm sick of seeing like an old guy versus a young guy. Let's get some people around the same age bracket competing against each other.
If you and AT got in a ring, boxing, who's winning that matchup?
I don't know. I'd rather duke it out with him on the golf course.
You're really scared to fight AT?
I just look. I mean,
he doesn't want to get fired because AT is his boss. I understand. Palantir. A lot of people don't even know what this company does. The company secured a $179 million contract with the U.S. Army for its AI-defined vehicle, whatever the hell that means. Like, what does Palantir even do? Do you know without looking it up? Stop typing.
I'm not looking anything up.
Do you know what Palantir does?
Not a clue. I have no clue what Palantir does. They do some weird shit behind the scenes. They're doing like AI. They're tracking us. They're selling data to the government and to the military. Either way, I mean, this move on Wednesday was crazy. Like you said, they announced we'll call it $180 million deal right?
Yeah.
And then the company went up like $7 billion in market cap. That doesn't make too much sense, right? That, you know, a company signs a deal worth $200 million, and then the stock's going to go up, you know, more than like 30 times that based on just this deal. Which, again, I mean, I think Palantir was already working with the government and with the military, so it's like the actual extra revenue from this company only adds $200 million of value to the company, yet the stock went up more than 10% on Wednesday, which was good for more than a $5 billion gain in market cap. I'm fading that. I'm out on Palantir until I figure out what they do, and then I might be in.
All right. Well, fair enough. To me, Palantir just gets all those analysis and data points, complex things, and they try to make it simple for you, right? So it's like, hey, AB every Wednesday goes to McDonald's, but then on Thursdays goes to Wingstop. So these are like the very complex, not as simple as what I just said. They go ahead and put them in a easy to understand way for, you know, companies, governments, public institutions, private enterprises, yada, yada, yada.
So basically what you're saying is we don't know what Palantir does, but Palantir knows what we do.
I have no better way to end the pod. That's the market breakdown. We'll see you next time.